So there I was, minding my own business, sitting in my favorite easy chair when I reached for my potato chips and I knocked over my framed Roy Underhill photo. Now that wouldn't have been a problem except it spilled my cold one all over my stack of woodworking magazines and put out my scented candle. My end table isn't nearly big enough or waterproof enough.
When Stumpy told me we were going to build an end table, I was expecting something normal. I don't know why I keep making that mistake.
So the plan is to design an end table that would turn my corner of the workshop into a custom relaxation station, where my woodworking magazines, my old tool catalogs, snack foods, hard candies, and cold ones aren't clutter because they all have their place. Basically, I want something that's hard to find in a store because it's just too awesome.
That must be why you can't buy mustaches in a store either.
Now this is going to be a modern design, no raised panels, which means that we're going to have to use some veneered plywood for the large parts because the only cupping I want to see is in the cup holder. Of course, we don't want to see the plywood edges either, so we're going to do some edge banding.
You know, they do sell edge banding that you can just iron on.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? Make absolutely sure your hardwood strips are just slightly wider than your plywood is thick, and that it hangs over just slightly on the visible side of the plywood. Otherwise, you can end up sanding through the plywood veneer when you're cleaning up your edges.
There are a lot of ways to attach the edge banding. Clamps, tape, just holding it with your fingers. I use some fine pin nails, which is controversial because you're going to be trimming the panels to the final size after they're dry. They're too fine really to hurt the blade, but use a less expensive one just to be safe, and please wear your face shield.
I don't think anything could get past that bushy lip room of yours. Now, I like to have a lot of what my wife affectionately calls junk on hand when I'm relaxing. So I'm going to need some kind of drawers. I'm going to put Mike to work on those while I begin cutting the dados. Now, normally, I cut my dados on the table saw, but these are stop dados, so a router and an edge guide is a much better option. I'm using the Milescraft turn lock guide because the base plate that I normally keep on my router will just lock right into it. I'm not sure if they make this guide anymore, but I love all the turn lock stuff. I wonder how the stash is coming on those drawers.
Stumpy wants a series of drawers down the front with graduated sizes because it would be just way too simple to make them all the same size. The bottom one will be 6 inches deep, and each drawer will be about an inch shallower than the one below it, till we get to the top one, which is only 2 inches deep. That's fine, but if he wants me to do all that extra work, I'm not dovetailing them. Rabbits will be plenty strong on a project like this. You're just going to fill them with junk and never open them anyways.
The carcass is coming along and it's time to make some drawer runners. These are basically just wood frames, so I'm going to use some pocket screws. I don't think there's anything wrong with this kind of joinery. I mean, if Norm Abram can use biscuits all the time, I can use pocket screws. The problem is, I spent all this money on the fancy jig, and then a week later, they came out with a better one. So using this old thing just reminds me how the world likes to kick me in the rear end every chance it gets.
Yeah, it's like the time in the 80s when I bought a can of Coke, and the next day, they came out with new Coke. I wrote a strongly worded letter. Try finding new Coke in the store today. You're welcome.
Don't you have some drawers to make?
The drawer fronts, they're maple. The sides and back are pine, and the bottom's 1/4-inch plywood. All of them are held together with rabbits, glue, and some brads. Hey, it's not fine furniture approach to drawers, but this thing is going to be in Stumpy's house, so I don't want to learn karate, but I really could use the new belt.
I really wish I drove a VW Bug. I think it'd be cool to know every time I drive by a school bus, some kid's getting punched. So I'm feeling a little better about using these pocket screws because they save me a ton of time. And they seem as strong as some mortise and tenon joints. I wonder if Chippendale ever used pocket screws.
I wonder if Chippendale ever built an end table with a cup holder.
It's not a cup holder, it's a snack tray. And that part isn't finished yet. First, we have to deal with the biggest end table deficiency of them all, surface space. There's never enough of it. What if I'm watching some Stumpy Nubs videos on the old laptop or tablet or something, and I need to go take a pee? I can't just hit that electronic stuff on the end table. That's always covered with more important stuff.
Didn't we just make a case last week for your laptop?
That was for traveling and protecting it in the workshop and around people like you. In the living room, I like to keep it simple. Just me, the television, smartphone, laptop, maybe a tablet or something. I need something where I can put it away and the dogs can't get at it. You should see some of her internet searches. The solution is a top that glides on some full extension drawer slides. Well, this design is really coming together. The 4 drawers give me all sorts of room for my most important junk, but the real action happens on the top, where we've got a compartment for my drink and some healthy snacks, for woodworking magazines and what I'm calling the stash slot.
When I come over, I want to read something that isn't stacked in the bathroom.
And since the way it sets in my living room allows me access to the back, I made a compartment for a great big old stack of back issues. I don't know about you, but I think I'll be relaxing in style.
I'm not sold on every feature, but I like the idea. The point is, when you make something yourself, you can add whatever features make sense to you. Whether you make something from scratch, like Stumpy did, or you get a set of plans from stumpynubs.com for this particular end table and make your own modifications to his design. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Traditional furniture might look nice, but it rarely has cup holders.
And don't forget to sign up for the stumpynubs.com website newsletter. We're adding new content almost every day, so we're going to start sending out an email at the end of the week with links to all the new stuff, so it's a lot easier to find in one place. And if you want to see more weekend woodworking projects, give us a thumbs up below. See you next time.